What is going on, people? Welcome to the On a Level podcast, episode 39. Today, it's a bit of a different one. We're going solo. We don't have a guest on today. We normally have a guest, and the guest that I did have lined up for today said a couple days back that they couldn't make it, and so I was thinking, I don't want to wait another week until the next guest or to rearrange or whatever, so I kind of wanted to put content out anyway. And I feel like this is really good timing because I only said in a reaction yesterday that I'm feeling like Aussie drill's too repetitive / generic at the moment. That's how I feel. I'm asking that question to you. That's how I feel, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a fact. It is not a fact that a certain genre of music is very much like something. Yeah, that's not a fact, okay? This is just my opinion, and I've asked for your guys' opinions too. So I put the question out on Instagram, and I asked you to send in video responses, and I have a bunch of video responses lined up. And so, yeah, we're going to be getting into this. We're going to be diving deep. I want to be able to use this podcast episode as a reference, at least for the near future. If anyone wants to ask my opinion on it, I can just link them the video. Boom, go and listen to this. And you may be one of those people right now. There will be timestamps in the description below. Hopefully breaking it up so that if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, you can kind of just pick and choose the parts where you do want to hear my opinion, or maybe hear other people's opinions on it. And I'm gonna try my best to cover everything, but it's such a broad question and it's such a broad topic in general that I have a feeling that I'm gonna miss something out. And I can already see the comment section going, but Chazza, you don't understand. Listen, I'm gonna do my best to be honest. I'm going to do my best to be open-minded, and I'm going to do my best to almost play devil's advocate with myself at times, share both sides of the perspective. Sometimes it's not just a two-sided argument. Sometimes this is three-dimensional, and we've got to look at this from many different sides and angles. So, yeah, let's get into this. If I ever look down, it's because I'm trying to break this up into times. And if I ever look at my screen here, it's because I've got notes. And yeah, just bear with me because I am trying to do this all in one take without the editing that you'll see in a moment. So we can't start this conversation without mentioning that I've had a huge amount of growth from Aussie drill. Like, I can't not acknowledge that fact. It is a fact that 5 of my 6 top videos that are over 100k are 1-4 reactions. It is a fact that some of my most popular videos just in general are reacting to Aussie drill. Some of my most popular podcast episodes are also talking to Aussie drillers or talking about Aussie drill. So I can't discredit that, and I will always acknowledge that. Second thing I need to mention, drill is not the main genre of music that I listen to in my own time. If I had to pick one, it's probably grime or UK rap. They're the two main genres that I would listen to in my own time. Of course, I listen to R&B, jungle, drum and bass, house, garage, fucking like blues, like acoustic covers, like a whole wide range of things, including Aussie rap and grime and drill itself. But I don't listen to drill as my main genre. Okay, so I know that will instantly take away credit from my opinion for some people. It's like, well, if he doesn't love drill the same way he loves grime, well, I want to hear him speak on grime and maybe not drill. And I am going to bring up grime a couple times today, and and you'll see how I'll make those comparisons. And the third thing that I want to mention is I like drill. I do not hate it. I do enjoy drill music. Okay, as I said though, it's not my main genre of music. So this is not a hate video. This is a discussion. It's me asking the question: is Aussie drill too repetitive? Is Aussie drill too generic? Not it is. Make sense? And so as we do that, I want to talk about the difference between Aussie drill and Aussie trap / rap, because they're two different things. So let's go for a few examples of what Aussie drill is.
Retaliation is a must. Ain't no maybe ifs or buts. We took numerous trips around there, but lad, that's something I can't discuss.
Never seen a yard before. I'm too smart for the pigs, but I still show a cunt how to run this ball. Talking out of his chest till he got checked. Now he's not sure. How many times would
dimension. Ran on sight when crews start stepping. Backing up numerous weapons, running and swinging in every direction. Up God, they left him.
Got Aussie drill. Now let's play some Aussie trap.
Them boys still taking a piss, so I'ma pull up with gang and flip. Still doing my bits, giving no fucks, it is what it is.
They wanna see me down and out, but I'm on a paper route. She want me to stay inside the house, but the trap needs me now.
Telling kids talking that shit will smell. If they took them better, they took a L. I seen the defeats that others will fail. Having them asleep like top and tail.
And then Aussie or poly rap, as some people want to say.
Coming in hot with a bang, running amok with a gang. Playtime's over, here to take over, we ain't playing no game.
Can I make one thing clear? If you was in the trap, brother, how were you here? We be over there, cause we in 5th gear.
When you come my way, trust that I hold it right down for my city, my hood, and the 48.
Don't worry about the names, just kind of get the idea of the difference between the sound itself, because I know there's a whole big debate about what the actual sound is and what the genre name is, and I've spoken about that before, but that is a different discussion. Today we're focusing on this. So they're examples of different music. Like, some people may confuse an Enemy No Reason, or they may confuse a HP Boys with Aussie drill. In my opinion, it's not. Sonically, it just doesn't match up. So you've got those as examples. Now, if we look at how Australian drill or even New Zealand drill started, I'm not going to tell you where it started, because I've heard many different opinions, I've heard many different stories, and I can't tell you which one is exactly correct. I'm sure there'll be people down in the description below who will give their opinion. I've heard that some people will say that Pistol Pete and Enzo started it. I'll hear that some other people that started it 10 years ago. I don't know, okay? That's my honest truth. All I know, and I think this is a fair statement, that 1-4 popularized it. And then that was then supported by artists like Hooligan Hefts, like 21 District, etc., etc. So, you know, there's no denying, and I've said this before, that 1-4 popularized Australian drill and really put Australian just music in general on the map, okay? I can't shy away from that fact. And so now I want to compare drill and grime just for a brief moment, and explain to you the difference in why I prefer drill over grime. Oh, sorry, why I prefer grime over drill. I'm getting mixed up in my own words there. Yes, they say the same things over. Like, both genres say the same shit. Like, grime is, I'm the best MC in the room. Who's got a problem with that? Yeah? If man comes radio, man's gonna get shelled. If I see my man, I'm punching my man up. Who the fuck does my man think he is? You man are copying everyone else. They're like 5 topics there that you would hear in 90% of grime music. Now let's take drill. It's, I shanked and shivved up this one. I shot up and... I was about to say bang this person, but that sounds a bit mad still. I sell this or shot this. Yeah? This is gang territory. We step on their gang territory. They won't run to our gang territory. We run them out of their gang territory. Yeah. And then last is like, I get bad bitches. Okay. Which again, the whole selling packs and bad bitches also translates over to grime as well. So there's some themes that do translate over. I would say that grime focuses a little bit more on the music side of things and being able to spit lyrics live and be able to perform that and clash face to face. Yeah, grime's a little bit more music focused in that regard, whereas drill is a little bit more real life, like, oh, like it's on, if it's on then it's on in real life. Yeah, and so that's the difference. And I prefer grime because I relate to grime more. Probably I relate to what, I'll stand in a man's face and tell him I'm a better MC than him, but I'm not going to stand in a man's face and say, yo, this is my postcode, fuck you. Like, I'm not warring over my postcode. I'll war over who's a better MC, I'll war over who's a better artist, yeah, but I'm not going to war over my postcode or the road that I live on. That's just me. But again, this is where some people will be like, but you don't understand drill because you're not from that life. No, I'm not from that life. I'm not on the road selling this, that, and the other. I'm not on the road shanking up this one and that one. But that doesn't mean that you need to do that to enjoy the music. Because if that was the case, 95 to 98% of people who listen to drill couldn't listen to drill. And that's the truth. Same way that 90 to 95% of people who listen to grime couldn't listen to grime. Because not everyone's an MC. Not everyone knows about going radio. The same way that people who listen to drill, not all of them know about shanking people up. Then if we translate that to the artists themselves, Not every Grime MC does know how to spit at radio. Not every Grime MC has spit at radio. Not every Grime MC has had clashes. Not every MC even has a mixtape. Yeah? And it's the same with drill. Just because they're talking about this, that, and the other doesn't necessarily mean that they're about it. And I've seen these discussions and I've seen these comments on YouTube, in my Instagram DMs, etc., of people saying like, yo, this crew aren't about it. And in the same vein, there'll be somebody else that go, this crew are really about it. I'm not there. I don't physically see this. And so I don't know what's true or not. The people who are saying it's true, they might just be fans. I might be gassing it. Same with people saying they're not about it. Maybe that's because they were victim to something that crew did. I don't know. And this is the problem. There's a lot of blurred lines here. There's a lot of he saids and she saids. And ultimately, all of the he said, she saids about what they have done is just snitching. It's all of this, let's not snitch on each other. I won't snitch on the crew. But then you talk about all of the shit that you've apparently done. And so, realistically, if you're a real G, surely you wouldn't want your business to be known. And I know a couple people that are like that. Like, yo, you wouldn't take them for someone who is really about that life. You wouldn't take them as somebody who is really on the field like that. If you was on the field, surely you wouldn't want to talk about it. But I understand that some people, it's a pride thing. Some people, it's an ego thing. Some people, maybe it's just they want to tell their story. And we'll come to that point in particular. Telling your story, I feel like, is a big part of it. And I will never discredit that. So, with Grime, you have to spit lyrics at a man's face. Like, if we look at someone like Wombat and Righty, if we look at something like Devilman versus Skepta.
When sprayed him like a maimon with a magnum, face it on the favourite, they go raid it, sprayed him like a maimon with a Mac 10.
I don't like him or his friend, don't make me have to bore his friend. Go on then, bring around 2 of your friends, I'll just bring around 3 of my friends.
Like, if we mention, I won't even get into it properly, but gets at Tim Westwood Radio. When he's got 7, 8 MCs in the same room going against him and he's on his Jack Jones freestyling for half of it. The man in the room. Like, listen, that is what I respect. Because you have to really be there. This is your, it's that Eminem moment. It's that 8 Mile moment. Like, this is your one chance. Like, you better make it count. You better execute. And that's what I respect about Grime. You've got to be on your game 24/7. With drill, you've got to be on your game 24/7 on the road. You can't be caught lacking on the roads. Especially if you really are about it and you really are in some beef. Because we've seen it plenty of times. Again, I'm not speaking on behalf of Australia, but on behalf of the UK, there's Instagram pages dedicated to man getting caught lacking on the roads. That's nuts. Are you mad? People are making a living out of sharing the videos of people getting punched up on the road. Like, that's nuts. And so, you've got people, it's so, anyone, including me, can make a freestyle, can make a track, can make an EP, album, mixtape, whatever the rascal you want it to be, put it out on the internet, talking about, I do numerous chefins, queffins, and I stepped in, right? Whatever it is. Anyone can do that. But not anyone can stand in a man's face and spit their lyrics live with fucking venom behind it. And that's why I prefer Grime over drill. Sonically, musically, I prefer Grime, but not that much above drill. I love the way drill beats sound. The way those 808s cut. Listen, it's different. Yeah? I love that ominous, dark feel about Grime. About drill. Love it. Because Grime can do that too. In the same way, we're now starting to see producers, especially on YouTube more so, but you know, you're seeing these drill producers flip the positive side of drill. It's like these positive sounding happy vibes, but with the drill kind of structure and drums and 808s, etc., etc. In the same way we've had that with Grime over the years. You know, it stemmed from garage itself. And garage was all like, yes, we're in the club and we want to vibe tonight. We want to chat to the girl them. Pop bottles tonight. Like, that's what Grime was. I'm getting my names mixed up. That's what garage was. And then garage MCs were like, yo, I want to talk about what's happening in my hood. I want to talk about what's happening on the roads. And that's where Grime then brought the grittier, darker style and stemmed from there. And so maybe drill is just stemming from Grime and just taking more and more of that dark feel. Now, I know Grime... Sorry, I know... I'm going to get fucking slagged off for this. I know that drill originated in Chicago. And I know it's an American thing. And the UK turned it into something of its own. And now Australia appears to be taking mostly of what stemmed from the UK. don't dislike drill. I like drill, and I'll show a few examples of that now.
Long drives with F on the M4. These custies never stop beeping my line. What the fuck would I need a friend for?
Who's real? They're not. Nah, they don't want none of this drama. It's too big for their heart. So let's go get that hottie, grip that pole and go for a drive. Push that stool in the bad man's chest and hope to the Lord that he don't survive.
Go all the way, then there's no remorse. Was gang on myself, bro, I still stand tall. Fuck the statistics, check the ballistics. If you cunts really want to talk about scores.
And so there's a few examples of what I personally like from Aussie or New Zealand drill. Now, just because I like it doesn't mean that other people will. There's going to be other people that may love it and other people that may hate it. Same way there's tracks that I might find okay, or songs that I may dislike, and people love them. They may be their favorite songs, favorite artist, favorite crew, whatever. That's fine. It's okay to have a taste in music. Let's make that very clear. It is okay. I just feel like things are becoming too generic. I feel like, I mean, I won't break it down to a T, but in short, I noticed that artists are using the same rhyming schemes, like Sheffins, yeah, or Shanks and Shivs, or Stepped in, OT in the streets. Like, there's certain phrases that we just hear the same multi-syllabic rhymes again and again, and it's getting boring. Like, it's getting boring hearing the same rhyming schemes over and over again, the same slang used in the same multis. Then speaking of slang, there's using slang that's not from your culture. Now, I'm not even mad at that, but using slang from another culture more than your own, that's where I have a problem. I don't have a problem with an Aussie or a Kiwi using UK slang. The same way the UK use American slang. Like, and before it used to be a massive issue. And once we started using more of our own British slang, more than the Americans, it started to become more accepted. It started to become more of a celebrated thing. And plenty of artists do this, by the way. Plenty of artists use Aussie slang and Aussie culture references in their music more than they do America or the UK. But for the ones who don't do that, personally, it disconnects me away from where you're repping. You're repping an area in Australia, yet you're not using the culture from that area. You're using the culture from a different country, from a different side of the world that may be more popular and may be more accessible to a worldwide and international audience. And the last thing that I've noticed, and it's probably one of the biggest ones for me, it's just a boring or flat delivery. Like, and when I mean flat, that doesn't necessarily mean flat like down at the bottom. I talk about this roller coaster effect. Being able to lift it up and drop it back down at different points, whether that's the hook transitioning into a verse, whether that's cutting the beat behind a hard-hitting statement, whether that's just changing the pace of your flow, changing something. Make your delivery dynamic, people. Like, the amount of times I hear either monotone, right, cool, right? And it's just there for 3.5 minutes. Vice versa, and it's just it's just too much energy for 3 minutes straight. But because it never dips down and it's just high, it's like, okay, it's nice from this view up here, but nothing much is really happening. And so being able to have some dynamicacy, that's a word now, dynamicacy, just being able to add something new and different into what you're doing. And so either way, I've given a lot of my thoughts based on what I think. And I've set the foundations of what I personally believe and what I kind of think. And now we will obviously dive more into that. But I want to start getting into your responses. Okay, so you guys have sent some video responses in. I couldn't get around to all of them. No word of a lie. I checked about 30 to 40 of them in the space of like 10 hours. So, and they were the ones who were able to save it, let alone the ones, like, plenty of people saved it and sent it to me and didn't save it in the chat, so I couldn't save the video to use for this video here. Plus, there's probably plenty more sent by now by the time I'm recording. These are the ones that I liked from early on, that got them in straight away. So if I ever do something like this in the future, make sure you get them in quick. Make sure that you, save them in the chat, or the ones who are emailed to me straight in, because nice and easy to use. So let's go for a few at a time. I'm going to play the clip and then I'm going to give my thoughts based on what they said.
What's up, Chazza? Shout out everyone listening. My name's Kelsey Rogers. I'm from Ipswich, Queensland, from the 4-3, and I just want to say that my thoughts on Oz rap is that it's definitely not versatile enough. I feel like as Australians as a whole, see, I've grown up in Australia, and I feel Australians as a whole aren't cultured on what hip-hop is about as much as they should be. And that goes for the artists that make a lot of music here as well. They don't know how much of an impact they actually make on people's lives. And I feel like if they understood how much of an impact they make on people's lives, they would be trying to teach people to be doing better rather than keeping people in the mindset of trapping's cool, gang shit, fucking, yeah, what's up, 4-3, fucking, yeah, oh, boom, 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 yeah, gang shit. It's like, it's not what life's about. Life's about leveling up, creating a better person out of yourself, and treating people around you better, and making something from yourself legally, like in music. So they should be capitalizing on the young market, saying, hey, I've been there, I've been in your shoes, like I've been trapping, I've been doing gang shit, but now we're doing this better shit, and it's 100 times better. We're making so much more better music, our lives are better. Like, that's what they should be telling these people, rather than keeping them in the mindset of trap gang.
Alright, so I like this opinion because it speaks on behalf of a lot of people. I feel like there's a wide, massive audience that would agree with this opinion. And I disagree to an extent. I'm glad that you then mentioned, like, yeah, tell your story, and then kind of say, like, this is the better path. And that's the side that I agree with more. Why can't these artists tell their story? We, as a hip-hop culture worldwide, yeah, let's take, and I know that's really fucking difficult to say, let's take all genres of rap, from trap, grime, drill, everything, yeah? And we take it worldwide. America, UK, US, fucking Belgium, Ireland, yeah? Hip-hop stems from struggle. It stems from telling the stories of what happened in your hood and what's happening, and reflecting a truer side of what goes on in perhaps a working class environment, or from a multicultural area, from a place where pop doesn't really speak to their message. It doesn't tell your story, you know? Hip hop, fuck any subgenre of it. At the end of the day, it's hip hop. It's rap, yeah? In rap, you're able to tell stories that in other genres you just can't. Like, we've heard deep stories of struggle through genres like jazz, for example. But you can go so much further into depth in rap just for the amount of lyrical content that you can cover. And the only other outlet for that is kind of like spoken word, maybe battle rap, you know? But to be able to do it over music, rap is where you can lyrically cover the most in a short amount of time. And I think that's why people resonate with it so much, and that's why storytelling in rap is such a powerful thing, in my opinion. I think these men should be telling their story. I think they should. But I think we blur the lines then in, well, are you really living the story that you're telling? Because there's a lot of people that are telling the story of somebody else. It's easy for me to tell the story of, I don't know, John from the block, who is really out here trapping, out here doing a madness on the roads. I've seen that. I don't know his full story, but I've spoke to him. I've seen 1 or 2 incidents. Why can't I then spit that in the music? But then we blur the lines, because there's a difference between me saying that that's me and me saying that's what I've seen in the hood. I think there's nothing wrong with saying about what you've seen. I talk about what I've seen in the hood. I've talked about what I've seen in my area. Again, I don't come from the worst parts in the world, but it's very far from the best and safe parts either. I've seen things in the last couple weeks alone. Just like, rah, this ain't normal. And that's something we've got to remember. What some of these drillers and what some of these MCs and artists are talking about in their music isn't normal. It's not normal for a bag of man to run up in the yard. It's not normal for 9 man to stomp out 1 man's head. And I don't care what people say, like, yeah, it's normal in my hood. That's not normal. It may happen. You may have seen it many times. You may have even been a part or a bystander to a situation like that. But that doesn't mean that it's normal. You make that very clear. It's not. Us being oppressed in the hood isn't normal. The whole Black Lives Matter movement and everything that that's standing for is to say, yo, this shit isn't normal. When, and forgive me for not knowing the full details off the top of my head, because I did talk with some people and they did inform me very, very well. The situation recently with the lockdown in certain parts of Australia where they were locking people into their estates, and it turns out the people living in those estates primarily come from a multicultural background, and it seems like basically they were being targeted. That's not normal. Yes, it's happening. That doesn't mean that it's normal. It doesn't mean it's acceptable. Okay? So when we're telling these stories, we've got to make it clear that this isn't normal. And this ties into what you're saying about let's better ourselves. This is why, so I got a mad itchy nose. This is why someone like Lisi is someone I respect. Because he talks about what happens and he says, but yo, we need to make ourselves better. This is why I respect 1-4. They did the drilling shit. Why is my nose so itchy? They did the drilling shit. And then they did something like Welcome to Prison that just flips the perspective. 21 District did exactly the same on the other side. Like, yo, you're talking about this situation. Yo, look at the impact that that may have on friends and family. And so I feel like it's important to share your story. I feel like that's a good thing. Yes, share your story. Because we're not seeing these stories all the time. We're not seeing it on primetime television. We're not seeing it in blockbuster movies. We've always seen American culture that's then glorified. We may see the Italian mafia culture that's then glorified. British TV loves going back to like the Peaky Blinders era and going back to what was before. And only in the last 5 to 10 years or so have we really seen kind of what London and English culture, street hood culture is really like in a mainstream light. That's not where the audience is though. 18-year-old Tammy, who loves drill music, isn't spending his time watching Channel 5. He's spending his time watching YouTube videos of the drillers because he relates to that. Hey, yo, that's my Uso from the area. I know him. Aye, that's sick what he's doing. And that's their form of mainstream media. Not radio, not TV. And so now when radio and TV are trying to catch up, it's disconnected. We've cut out the middleman. Instead of us having to put it through a network, it's like, yo, what you mean? I can create my own channel and just put it up? How many groups have you seen in the last year post one song and pop? They've cut out the middleman. Do you think that could have happened in the era of TV? I think that could happen in the era of radio. You had to start radio. You had to start at like these private shit that you only get 10 listeners. Then you might go to another one that gets like 200. Another one that gets a few thousand, maybe a little online blog. Then you go to the big companies, but still on the smaller stations. Then getting your own show and then becoming one of the big names to the point where you're one of the worldwide known radio hosts. You know? Like, we've cut out all of that. We're fast-tracked. YouTube, the content I'm making now has fast-tracked me into being a part of the scene, or at least being someone who talks about the scene. And content exactly like this. And so, yeah, I feel like it's important to share your message. But I also agree that we should also be saying that this is not normal, and this is what we can do to better ourselves, and this is what we can do so that this doesn't have to happen. Because I know it may sound cool, like, to live this lifestyle. When you get punched up, you get robbed for your food and you have to pay back the plug. When you get run up and your mum gets hurt, that's when it's different. That's when this culture is no longer cool. And anyone who is really about that life will tell you that. Anyone who has truly spent time in pen, anyone who has truly been through these fucking situations will tell you straight that this life shouldn't be glorified. I am telling my story, but I am not telling you to do the fucking same. If you have really lived through this and you're telling the young'uns to go and join you, you're a dickhead. Because you may have not lived through all of the repercussions of your actions. And you've dragged people in. And let me tell you something now. And again, real people who have fucking lived through this will tell you, once you step 2 feet in over that line into the trap, once you step into the fucking hood, it ain't so easy to get out. That shit is quicksand. The more you struggle and the more you try and pull yourself out of that, the quicker you will fucking sink. So if you are a grown fucking man or woman and you are trying to tell me about gang shit and you have children, you're a prick. And that's my opinion. But again, who am I? Who am I to give my opinion on this? Next one, let's go.
Hey Chazza, my name is Damun. I'm a big fan of yours. I work at a behavior school in Mount Druitt, and I seen your recent post, and I just wanted to say that I wholeheartedly agree that although I love the music scene here in Australia, and I believe that there's mad talent. The young people in our areas such as mine, have heaps of talent. But then I do agree with you in saying that it's getting a bit repetitive, man. And I think, working at a behavior school, once again, I see young people in high school, listening to this type of music and being influenced by it. But now even they are sort of starting to like get over it, you know what I mean? And a lot of the music that's being made is by the Pacific Island community. And believe me, bro, like you already know this, they have the potential to create, such beautiful sounds and music and be very creative and create their own sort of style, Australian, style. But I feel like, because there's such a like almost addiction to drill, or there's that the lifestyle that sort of that's the lifestyle that's sort of like glorified by drill. Yeah, it's glorified. So like there's a lot of young people that want to project that image to the world of themselves, like that tough image, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then there's a point where it's sort of, we need something different, bro. We need something like. My question for you is then like, how do we, which direction do we go now? Especially when other types of music aren't as like in right now, or like people aren't really listening or sharing, or there's not much hype around other types of music at this point in time. Yeah, it's up to us, being a artist myself. I work with a group they call Manifold, and I understand that, like we're trying to create a new type of music, almost a new genre. I don't know if you'd call it like soft drill or like pop drill, or I don't know what the hell you'd call it, but how do we make that popular? And how do we, sort of, I guess, make that image cool as well? Right now it's not so cool to make other types of music. Right now it's cool to stick to drill, and even the like the worst drill artists are better than like the best other artists, if that makes sense. I don't know if any of this is making sense, but yeah, my question to you is like, then how do we make other types of music popular, bro? How do we, as the older generation too, like, especially, because us older ones have a big influence on the younger kids, right, that are listening to our music. But yeah, all the best, brother. Take care.
I think it's sick to make drill music. I think it's sick to make grime. I think it's sick to make R&B. I think it's sick to make rap. I think it's sick to do what you want to do. So if these men want to make drill music, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with making the type of music that you want to make. I think that you shouldn't make music or a certain type of music just because it's popular. And again, some artists may do this because they want to grab the bag, and I'm going to talk about that soon, because I'm sure the right question will come up, and if it don't, I'm going to fucking go in on that as well at the end. But, you know, if you want to grab the bag, okay, cool, that's fine. But ultimately, from a moral perspective, I think you should make the type of music that you enjoy listening to. I enjoy listening to grime. So, 50% of my music is going to be grime. 40% of the music I listen to is rap. So, 40% of my music that I make is going to be rap. Like, that's just how it is. And then the other 10% or whatever the percentages are, yeah, is what I'm going to make. I'm going to make what I want to listen to. I haven't made a drum and bass track yet. I love drum and bass. So, you know what I'm going to do in the future at some point when the time's right? I'm going to make a drum and bass track. Not because I'm waiting for drum and bass to be the popular thing, but because I want to make that. Yeah, you understand? So, as for the soft drill kind of discussion, again, I don't want people making that type of music because then that's going to be the new cool thing to do. Because I believe that that's going to be more popular than the drill music that we've become accustomed to itself. I believe there's going to be a point where the Leesies are going to be more popular than the 1-4s. I believe that the Cheekies are going to be more popular than Hooligan Hefs. Yeah? Stylistically, I'm not talking about the individual artists, I'm talking about that style of music. I believe there's going to be a point where we go too far in the other direction, where everything's too much about being nice. And let me make this clear, I'm not being a pacifist. Someone jumps my bro tomorrow, big man, it's on! You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to talk about that music. Me personally, I'm not. One, I'm not snitching on myself. Two, it's not the cool thing to do. I'm in the wrong, realistically. And I know that whole, like, as a kid, what was you told by your parent? If someone hits you, what was you told? You come back from school, little Danny at school punched you clean in the face. Yeah, you go home, Mom, I got punched in the face today. You're 5 years old. Yeah? What does your mum tell you? Someone punches you, you hit them back twice as hard, right? That's what we're taught. So as grown adults, when something happens, retaliation is a must. Ain't no maybe, ifs, or buts. We were taught that from young. But now it's at an escalated scale. Because now instead of 5-year-old Danny punching you in the face, now you got 25-year-old Terrell punching you in the face. Now, when you're 5, hit them back twice as hard. You might not be twice as strong as Danny. But you know what? You still give it a go. 25-year-olds, though, who are insecure and don't feel like they're as strong as Terrell, they're going to grab a little something. Next thing you know, they're carrying Rambos, they're carrying Glocks, they're carrying Pepsi cans. I don't fucking care. You understand how the mindset's different and see how this escalates now. As for you saying about it being a cool thing, like I said, I think that at some point, this whole positive movement is going to be the cool thing to do. I think it's the cool thing to do now. Why isn't it cool? Why not? It's what I like. It may not be the most widely shared opinion, but I think it's cool. It's just not the most popular opinion right now. And the problem is there's plenty of people that are just sheep and followers. Instead of deciding what they like themselves, they're just choosing based on what other people follow. Now, you may genuinely like drill, and that's fine. I like drill. I don't love drill, but I like drill. I think some people get swallowed up in what's the trending thing right now. And it's just what you're used to. If you grow up in a rich household and you eat posh foods that your family can afford and what your family can cook and you had the ingredients to do, that's what you become accustomed to. And then you try chicken and chips one day and you're like, oh, this is disgusting. This ain't the food I'm used to. Vice versa, I'm the opposite. I grew up with chicken and chips. So when I go get a 6 wings and chips with a Pepsi on the side, I love that shit. But when I try some food that my middle class friend might make for me one day and I'm like, oh, I don't like it. That's because it's not what I've grown up liking. Not saying that you can't be rich and enjoy chicken and chips, vice versa. I'm not saying you can't be poor and enjoy richer foods. I'm not saying that's not possible, but it's what you become accustomed to and it's what you're used to. Yeah? I know people who love like frozen freezer food, but they don't like fresh food. And I know people who are the opposite. And it's what you're used to. So if you grow up and you're used to hearing these kind of sounds, you're more likely to gravitate towards that. Not to say you can't change your mind, but then you are wired to like a certain music. I might only like drum and bass and jungle because my dad rinsed it when I was a kid. That might be the reason that I liked it. The reason I love grime is because I know for a fact I discovered grime on my own. It wasn't that anyone else really played it to me. Well, it was, but you know what I'm saying? No one said like you have to like this or this is what's amazing. I just kind of stumbled into it. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with liking drill. There's nothing wrong with it, man. And I feel like, you know, when you're talking about you work in a behavior center in Mount Druitt, in a place where drill it's the hub of Australian drill at the moment, it seems, you know, and even those boys are now falling out of touch with it. Why is that? Is that because musically it's sounding repetitive, or is that because the message is too repetitive? Is it because they've seen the likes of Elise, because they've seen the likes of another artist who gives a more positive message into the game, and they're now fucking with that more than they are the drilling shit? Why is that? That's what I'm gonna ask. Is the why.
What's up, Chaz? I'm from Perth, Western Australia, and I do think that Australian drill is getting too generic and too repetitive nowadays. Like when 1-4 dropped their first like songs like Shanks and Shivs, What You Know, the message, like it got international attention because it was something people had never seen before, and people were in awe. They were like, oh my god, Australia has drill, what the hell? But nowadays there's just too many groups over east doing drill. It just sounds the same. They're just shouting at the mic, using the same bars over and over, and it's all these Pacific Islander rap groups. But here over in Perth it's a little different, and of course I say this with a biased perspective because I'm from Perth, and like the references make sense to me because I'm from here, obviously. But over here we got more people from like African descent making music, even Indigenous Australian descent, and the sound just sounds like completely different from over there. Different accent, different everything.
This one's important because although the opinion is similar to the first guy we had, this opinion's important because he talks about relating to something. Why is drill popular in the first place? Because people can fucking relate to it. And there's some people who genuinely relate to it, who have genuinely seen these things happen, who have genuinely been about that life. And that's why they connect with it. Now, as I said, you don't necessarily have to relate to the music to enjoy it. I am not a person of color. I am not black. I am not brown. I am not blue, yellow, green, fucking anything you want to say it. I am considered a white male, okay? Yet Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly is all about black excellence, black struggle, black culture, and yet it's one of my favorite albums. Now, I love that album. Do I have to be black to enjoy that album? Dave, UK artist, his song Black, I loved. And I loved it even more when he did the performance live at the Brits. As a white male, do I need to be black to enjoy that song? No, I don't believe so. I believe you can enjoy anything you want. But there's no denying that if you do relate to something, it hits home harder. That's why I love an Alex Jones. It's why I love a Husky. Because they're able to say lyrics that I have truly fucking felt deep down in my heart. I enjoy Chillinit's music. I enjoy Nerve. Why? Because there's elements in their music that I would like to say, obviously they do it to a higher level, but I would like to say that it's similar to the music I make myself. So I relate to them in terms of sound. And just to be very clear, they're both better artists than me. They're way bigger than me, just to be clear. Alright? But I relate to that in my own way. I relate to grime because I make grime music because I've been there at open mics, I've been there at shows, I've been there at sets. where you've got 10 men in the room and you're trying to hold the microphone and bend the wire at a certain position just to make sure it works, and you've got to hold it fucking this close to your mouth, otherwise you can't hear anything. So when I see that on YouTube, I weren't around on the days of Channel U, so when I seen that on YouTube, I'm like, yo, I've done that. I've been there. I've been in situations like that. And so maybe there's youths in the hood that relate to this. Just to be clear, we often talk about the effect that drill has on young people. It's not just young people who are listening to drill. There are grown men and women that are listening to drill music. We just often talk about the youth and how it affects the youth. I fall victim to this a lot. I fall victim to having these discussions about the impact it has on the youth. Maybe because I'm a teacher, that's where my mindset's at. But we've got to remember there's all different walks of life that enjoy this. From the richest parts of the country, living in fucking mansions, to middle class families who are just nice and well off, to the people who are living in council estate housing. All different walks of life are enjoying this type of music. Sometimes the people who are rich and grew up with everything enjoy this music because it gives them a different perspective to life. It's like, yo, something that I don't have. Same way people that grow up without anything might enjoy a Jay-Z or a Snoop Dogg styling on people because it's like, yo, I want to be like that one day. Maybe we want to identify with something that we're not. As humans, we always want something that we don't have. So maybe when you've got little Tim, who's skinny brother like me, can't throw a punch to save his life, maybe he looks up to the man that can box and talk about fucking punching up man in music. Because that's what deep down they want to be. Maybe they can reflect their insecurities through the music. Maybe the artists themselves are pretending to be something they're not because they want to reflect that through the music. Maybe. I can't confirm that, but I'm sure there's at least one example of each in life. And so, relating to the music is a very interesting discussion, and we could go a lot deeper into it, but I want to kind of keep this moving.
I can count on two hands the amount of Australian artists that have made it before that outbreak, you know what I mean? And although drill is generic and repetitive, brother, it's the way we add our twang to it, you know what I mean? We add a little twist to it, which is why I think it's so sought after and why there's the hype around it, yeah? Like, I've been following the UK, like, grime / drill. I know they're very different. But that scene for, like, years, bro. Like, I'm talking Devilman, Spitfire, Road Rage, Kamikaze's Road Rage, bro. Like, I've been here for a while. And although it all sounds similar, it's how the artists add their twang and how they talk their gang shit, which is why it's so addictive. And the fact that we were able to come out and add our twang, I reckon that's what did it for us.
Yes, grime and drill are very different. I'm glad that you emphasized that. And I also agree with why drill popped in Australia. Yes, because you, man, added your own fucking flavor to it. And that's what I rate. I rate when you took something that you, man, loved as an individual and turned it into your own. We go through life doing that shit. Nobody in this world, nobody is completely unique and individual. Why? Because you have to learn from something. You have to learn things based on what other people have experienced or what other people have found out. Like, you never decided what the color green is on your own. Someone taught you that. You never decided what is healthy food. Someone taught you that. You may have discovered some things on your own, but you were taught majority of the knowledge that you know. Yeah? And so, the same way UK drill isn't completely unique. Chicago drill isn't completely unique. It all stems from something previous until we're going back to fucking Stone Age where man were banging rocks together. Yeah? It all stems from that. Whether you like it or not. And so, when you're able to take something and turn it into your own, that progresses something forward. Or you birth something new completely. As I mentioned, grime stemmed from garage, which also took elements of reggae, of sound clashes in Jamaica and the Caribbean, that took an influence from African music and Afro swing. We took a lot of different things and a lot of different elements to make UK grime. UK drill, Aussie drill is no different. It took from other genres and it turned into its own. And for Australia itself, you man started to use your own slang. You started to use your own culture. You used your own culture references. You wore the clothes that you wear in Australia, which is something that I apologize because I previously doubted. I was like, what, you're copying the UK? But no, apparently it's been in Australia, so I'm taking your word for it. And so now, when we talk about taking something and making it your own, that's what I'm not seeing enough of on a broader scale. Yes, I agree with you, bro. Artists are doing that and turning it completely into their own. And they're the ones who are right at the top. Notice how the ones who really did turn it into their own, notice the ones who really did push that sound forward and make it their own, are the ones at the top of the game. And I'm not talking just views, I'm talking about recognition, the names that we talk about. Why is 1-4 always mentioned? Why is Hooligan Hefts? Why is HP Boys always mentioned? Why are those artists and groups mentioned? Because they took the sound and made it their fucking own. Some other people may have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of views, but maybe their names are not mentioned as widely because they're not doing something unique and original. As you say yourself, they're not putting their own twang on it. So anytime that I say a song is average, or it's a good song but not amazing, or if I even say I don't like this song, I want you as a fan to turn around and tell me why this is different. Even if it's different, doesn't mean I necessarily have to like it. Just because, I don't know, I fucking bang a pencil on a desk and use all these unique sounds and make my own completely unique sound, doesn't mean you have to like it. But it's different. I took something and I made it my own. Doesn't mean you have to like it. But I agree. By taking something and making it your own and making it relate to the people in your area and the people of your kind, of course, that's going to help you convert people. So I see both sides of it.
Yo, Chazza, just basically in response towards whether Australian drill is becoming generic, I definitely agree. You know, there's a lot of talent here, but I feel like there's not enough sort of research going on, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many recycled bars that are actually coming out of Australia at the moment. But basically, I feel like, you know, Australian rappers that are, you know, drillers here, they need to look at the versatility that America and UK are coming out with. Abracadabra is like the best example I can give. You know, that guy's got crazy flows, something unique, and it's fresh, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, I do feel like these people are only hating on you because they're pushing their music out a lot. But, you know, with your opinion, I feel like it's true. But yeah, peace.
My bro, you mentioned recycled bars. In American hip-hop, if an artist was caught recycling a bar, they got fucking annihilated in the culture. You and they're cancelled for copying somebody else's bar. In battle rap, it's an instant death if you're caught copying somebody else's bar. Like, in UK battle rap, there was a battle rapper called Gemini, and he faced Shocks the Rebel, and he broke down Shocks. He did a whole round saying, Shocks, you stole this bar from such and such in round 2 at minute such and such, and this is this scheme that you stole from such. Yo, it was one of the heaviest bodies I've ever seen in my life, that round, yeah? You've got artists that get caught stealing another artist's bars before it's released or after it's released, whatever, and there is so much controversy. Why do we never G-check the artists in drill that are copying each other's bars? Like, you'll get the odd comment saying, oh, well, this rhyme is like such and such. But even myself, we then start saying, well, this is generic over you're copying somebody else's bar. You know what the honest truth is with that, maybe? Maybe we don't know where the fucking thing originated from because everyone's just using it. Maybe we don't know what truly is original because it's all slurred in with each other. As I said, there's plenty of drill that is so unique and it's so sick and it represents your culture and where you're from, your area, your people, yourself as an artist and what you stand for. Whether it's music, whether it's road, whether it's fucking ego, whatever it is. talking about what you stand for. But the minute that I can't pick apart what your morals are and what you want to do with the music and what you want to do with yourself, because it just sounds like everybody else, that's when I disconnect. Maybe that's what I'm getting at. Maybe the music itself isn't repetitive. Maybe I'm just bored of hearing the same old message. I don't have a problem with it sonically. I have a problem with what you're saying. Maybe that's the case for me. I don't know. Now I'm thinking out loud. Like, I ain't got this bit scripted. I haven't got this bit noted down at all. Kind of thinking off the fly here, but maybe that's the problem. Maybe drill as a sound isn't the problem. Maybe it's the artists not making it clear what they're about, because it sounds like what everybody else is about. Within saying that, there's plenty of grime artists that want to be the best. But you doesn't make you the best by talking about being the best. You are not the best artist in the scene because you constantly talk about how good you are. You're the best artist in the scene because you push the sound fucking forward. And maybe we've got too many groups and too many individuals talking about why they're the hardest without actually doing anything that's different to the other artists that are talking about being the best. I don't know. Interesting thought.
Hey Chazza, yeah, I think you're exactly right, mate. You said in one of your videos that if you're not from that particular culture, then it's very hard to relate. So of course it's going to get repetitive after a while, you know. Personally, I've never heard like any bars in any drill song where I've been like, fuck, that was awesome. Like, I've never really been impressed by it. And I don't know if that's because like I prefer the faster paced, sort of more lyrical, multi-syllable, I guess like Wombat-esque type of music. I don't know, but even like the old Syntax Junkies, some of the MCs in that were so fucking talented. And I always wondered, like, why is that type of, I guess, more lyrical music like here, and why is drill and trap and all that gangster stuff up here? And yeah, I guess it is because of the culture, but I don't know. I always just like, don't people appreciate like lyrical stuff? There's a guy in the Syntax Junkies called Mesk, M-E-S-C, and that guy was so fucking talented. Like, he should have been huge. I don't know. Anyway, there's my answer.
Mesk is a cold fucking MC, I agree with you. And Syntax Junkies, I don't know if they're making music anymore. I haven't heard from them in a while, but Syntax Junkies are dope. Now, my brother, I see where you're coming from. And I share a similar mindset to you. Like, yo, I'm a lyric head as well. And that's where we like lyricism. We like listening to words. But we are in the minority there. Believe it or not, we are in the minority by being the lyric heads. Yeah? If we look at America very briefly, if you look at what dominates the charts, it's a lot of mumble rap, it's a lot of the more melodic style. One of the most popular artists in America is Travis Scott. If we look at Drake, I like it when Drake bars out, because believe it or not, Drake can fucking bar out. But his most popular ones are the ones that are slightly dumbed down and more melodic with the hooks. Yeah? And so, melody is a big thing in America. In the UK, we do appreciate lyricism, but now what's becoming more popular is it's slowly becoming Americanized, and now what's dominating the charts is the more melodic type of rap, which again, nothing wrong with that. I enjoy melodic type of rap. I just prefer lyricism. I would prefer listening to a fucking Kano over a Abracadabra, for example, just as an example. And I like Abs as well, by the way. I would rather listen to Dave on Psychodrama over a Heady One. And again, I like Heady One, but I just prefer the more lyrical side of things. So I'm with you there. But we can't ask for everything to be lyrical. The same way that the melody heads can't ask for everything to be melodic. There's different styles of rap for a reason, and I believe as a fan, you pick and choose what you like from what the world and a culture and what a scene gives you. I'm voicing my opinion. I'm not saying this has to happen. By the way, by me saying some of drill music is generic and repetitive, that doesn't mean that it needs to change. This is just my opinion. And I'm just sharing the opinions of what some of you man are thinking. And I know majority of people have kind of agreed with me and kind of given their own little take on it. And there's been one or two people that have kind of defended it. And that's fine. That's what I want. I want to hear both sides of the story. I want to hear the three-dimensional side that is this discussion, you know? But I don't necessarily think that every drill artist needs to be lyrical. Does it make their music better? In my opinion, yes, but that's because I like lyrics. Some people are delivery. Some people are, I like the beat kind of person. And again, that's fine. But if I look at, I hate using 1-4 as an example for everything, but they are just the best example. You look at why the message pop, because how many quotables are in that song? Especially the retaliation is a must line. It's just quotable lyrics really, really do make a difference. And I talk about it often. And when I talk about delivery being flat, maybe that's what a verse misses. It sounds generic. There's not a standout line that's like, yo, I haven't heard a line like that before. When Alex Jones says, feed a pregnant bitch rock until I kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Like, when Husky talks about, I just had a meeting on the top floor and I'm feeling downstairs itching, whatever that line is in their 10 Toes on the Road track recently. Like, it's shit like that that makes me go, yo, this shit's insane. Not by someone repeating what somebody else has said. And so, I hear you, my bro. I agree that I prefer things to be lyrical, but there's plenty of people that don't want to have things lyrical. They want to keep it simple. Some people would refer to lyric heads as the lyrical, miracle, physical, spiritual kind of people. The lyrical miracles, as we'll call them. And sometimes I believe artists can go too far in their wordplay and then forget about the foundations of rap and forget about delivery and forget about flow and forget about structure and forget about cadence. I believe lyrics are important. Without lyrics, what the fuck is rap? But you've also got to remember the other foundations as well. And I believe a song can be great with basic lyricism, but amazing delivery or amazing flow. Yeah, that is a thing.
This is Ishak representing RBT. Yeah, bro, drill. It's fucking shit. It's getting repetitive as fuck. Over it. Every Tom, Dick and Harry is getting on the trend and shit, jumping on the wave, doing the same shit, flexing, this, that, repetitive, bro. Half of them aren't even about it, I guarantee it. And yeah, it's just killing the music scene and shit. I just want shit to change, new shit to come out. I don't know. People aren't being creative, you know. They're just fucking doing what they think, you know, is popping, and then they're just gonna jump on it. It's just fucking rubbish. I don't know.
If you think a genre of music shit, don't listen to it. Bottom line, if you don't like it, don't listen to it. You don't like my videos, click off of it. You don't like that TV show, don't watch it. You watch the first 10 minutes of a Netflix series, don't like it, click off of it. No one's forcing you as an individual to listen to this music. No one's forcing me to listen to it. I like drill. I like Aussie rap. I like poly rap. So that's why I listen to it. When you're saying that everyone's hopping on a bandwagon, obviously we're not talking about physically everyone. And we have to be careful when we say things like everyone and them and those people. We have to start defining about who these people are. Because not everyone's hopping on the trend just for the wave and just to make money, etc., etc. And that's a discussion in itself. Money. Like, yo, what is the problem with an artist hopping on a wave to make their money, to get out of the hood? If you think about the closest person to you, whether that's your children, your sibling, your parents, your closest partner, your best friend, yeah? Think about the closest person to you in life. Now, think about something that they would want or something that they would like. And you're telling me, and then I ask you the question, would you do anything to make that thing happen for that person? Most of you are going to say yes, right? Well, for you to make that one thing happen for that person, especially if it's money related, and I say, would you do anything? Majority of you are going to say yes. And so then if I say, right, well, if you want to do it, you've got to hop on this trend, you've got to make music, you got to do it for 2 to 3 years and then bounce. Half of you are jumping at that. So, what is wrong with someone jumping on a trend to make a quick bag to take care of their family? Maybe a parent needs fucking surgery. Maybe the son or daughter needs college fees. Maybe you need to pay your fucking rent. And what? I'd rather someone get on the mic and talk about doing a madness than actually having to go out there and do a madness to get the money. Now, I understand not everybody's wants and needs in life is money related, but let's say that, for example, somebody has started to do music and has started to do the most popular style of music because they know it's the best chance of them earning money. I'm not mad at that. I would encourage that to a certain extent, because I would rather someone go all out and do music over go all out and have to go and rob someone or go do a madness and get themselves locked up or harm somebody else. By them sitting on the internet and going, and I do drillings and minute. The worst that's going to happen is somebody like me goes, I don't like it. Versus you having to go and smash someone's fucking face in. See the difference? But if you're doing that to hop on a trend, if you are doing that to grab a bag, don't expect people to love it because the passion ain't there within the music. There's nothing wrong with grabbing the bag, but then don't expect you to be considered as the most creative artist in the world. See where we're coming from? If I take someone like AJ Tracey from the UK, AJ Tracey started on Grime. AJ Tracey on Grime is one of my favourite fucking things in the world. When he did the front EP and there's a song called Hood Antics, my God, love that track. Love it. Fucking love it. But now I see what he's doing with Rain and Dinner Guest and West 10 and all of those other songs, and that's fine. He's grabbing the bag. But now as a fan, he's lost me because I don't believe his passion is in the music anymore. But if AJ just wants to grab the bag, so be it. He's the one laughing at the end of the day. Just because I don't like it, that doesn't stop him from buying a fucking gold rollie or a bust down watch. Yeah? So if you're in it just for the money, so be it. You're in it for the money. Just don't expect people to love what you're doing with the craft. Yeah? And so, if you don't like something, so be it. You just don't listen to it again. No one's forcing you. If I do a reaction, and you, obviously, let's say you're somebody, because I know there's plenty of people who watch my content and they're like, yo, I don't even know half the artists you react to. I'm just here to hear your opinion, Chaz. I respect you. Really do. Really respect through because I can't do that. That's the honest truth. Like, I pick and choose the content that I take in. I love listening to the Joe Budden podcast, for example. But if they're talking about something that I don't understand or I don't necessarily care about, I'm not going to listen to it. I'm going to just click on the timestamp to a part where I do care about. Like, I believe you should pick and choose the content you take in. So if you dislike it, my brother, fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion. If you hate drill, you hate drill. Then just don't click on it. Don't listen to it. Maybe give it a chance in 6 months. Maybe something might have changed. Maybe there's a new artist. Give them 15 seconds of your time. You never know. And if you just outright don't want to hear drill, then don't look for drill music. You don't like grime? Don't look for grime music. You don't like rap music as a whole? Don't listen to rap music. I like drill. That's why I check for it. But just because I like a genre doesn't mean that I need to like every song within that genre. And just to be clear, I'm still in a majority positive. Majority of drill songs I do like over the other 40. Let's say it's a 60-40 split. Grime, I'm like an 80-20 split. With drill, maybe it's like a 60%. Yeah, I do like 40% in the meh, it's alright, or I dislike it. Like, that's probably my ratio. I don't know. Maybe it is different if you used to run the hard numbers. But I think, like, if you don't like something, just don't look into it. But yeah, that's going to do for today. I don't know how long this video is going to be. We've been recording an hour and a half at this point. Obviously, some bits going to be cut out. I've got to edit videos in and do all of that business. But yeah, this is going to be a long one. I know it's a very long discussion. If you didn't click any timestamps and you stuck through all of this, you are a madman. And I appreciate you listening all the way through. Give me your thoughts down below. Is there anything that I've said that you just massively disagree with? Is there anything that you really agree with? Is there any points where you're like, Chaz, you fucking nailed it? Like, let me know what you think. Again, if you think I'm wrong and I'm in the minority or I've got things incorrect, tell me. Like, I'm here to have this discussion. And this is the difference. I'm not here to just react to music, nod my head and go, yeah, my guy, that's fire. I'm not going to be that person. I would much rather give my honest opinion and then have this discussion when it's needed. I could argue that I could do a whole fucking part 2 of this. I really could. But for now, we'll keep it as it is. I want to see what people think. This video is going to be a fucker to put together. It already has been, so I'd appreciate any support. And the biggest way you could support is by literally just going down in that comment section and engaging with people. Giving your own comment, replying to others, thumbsing up the ones you agree with. Like, that would mean the most to me. But yeah. Appreciate you guys for watching this video. Appreciate you guys listening to this episode of the podcast. My single Blame Game is out right now. Links will be down in the description below. Other episodes to the podcast will be out as well in a playlist down below too. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching this episode. I appreciate you guys listening to the On Level podcast. And I'll talk to you, man, later.